anybody made any New Year's resolutions so far in this room? Okay. You have? Great. So have I. So we all have. All right, so what I want you to realize is that probably every single goal that everybody's come up with has something to do with, at the core, of feeling as good as possible as often as possible. So if it's more money, the end result of the more money would be what? Having more time to do what you want to do and be more happy as often as you can, as much as you can. If it's to have a new relationship, it's what? To feel more love, more often as possible. So the root of all goals would be to feel somehow better and as much as possible in the coming year. So the foundation, and so I kind of want you to understand that the foundation of all your goals are going to be about pretty much happiness or feeling good as much as possible, as often as possible, okay? And as much as possible. So as much and as often as possible you want to feel happy or good or the best feeling state you can possibly feel. So that you have to keep that in mind. That's very important because sometimes we make goals and we don't even realize that they're actually not for this purpose. We have to check and make sure because that's really what you want. Also that all your goals are taking place in relationship to something. So it's either going to be in relationship to your body, to money, to another person. Maybe if you have a goal of losing weight, that's in relationship to your body. Maybe if it's in, your goal is to look better, that's in relationship to your body. If it's to have more money, that's in your relationship to money. If it's to have a partner, romantic partner, that's in relationship to somebody else. So your goals are usually almost all the time in relationship to something else. And we talk about this all the time. When we talk about things being in relationship to one another, some little thing can come up called our ego. And our ego will be definitely coming from a safety perspective. So, in relationship to your body, to anything, any kind of relationship you set up, there's going to be room for fear. Ego can creep in. The ego is going to come from a safety perspective, not happiness perspective. I want to be safe. This is a big issue when it comes to goal setting and achieving your goals, is that oftentimes this thing here called our ego gets in the way from us actually achieving what we say we want. So, just to recap, all goals are going to be about feeling as good as you can, as often as you can, and they're all going to be in relationship to something else. Does it make sense so far? About in relationship to something else. Usually your goals are going to be based in lack. And basically, you're going to be giving attention to what you don't have. So let's say you say a goal for me in the coming year is to make more money. So what that means that the goal is actually giving attention to what you don't have, not having enough money. If the goal is to lose weight, it's because you feel like you're not attractive enough or you're not healthy enough, whatever. So many goals are surrounded by the idea of you're thinking about what don't I have, okay? So many goals come from a lack perspective, lack in relationship to something else. Lack in relationship. Okay, so you're actually concentrating on what don't I have in relationship either to my body. These are the generalized ones. It's either a body issue or it's a issue with money or relationships in some way. Those are the three biggies. So it's if I have the thing that I say I lack, then I'll be happy. That's the thought process with the goal. If I have the relationship, romantic relationship I want, then I'll be happy. If I have the money that I want, then I'll be happy. If I have the body, if I have the job, the career, whatever it is. If I have this, then I'll be happy. So it's a if I can attain, if I can attain the thing that I perceive that I'm lacking, then I'll be happy. So this is very important. Remember that many of the goals come from a lack perspective, not abundance. They come from a perspective of, I'm lacking something that makes me not complete. And if I had that thing that makes me not complete, then I'll be happy. And the first thing I want you to look at is trusting in a positive outcome. So, I want you to be more aware of what life is showing you, okay? Be more aware of what life is showing you than what you want from it. All right, so many self-help people talk about this. It is very, very important. What this says is that you may say, now I'll boil it down to some real life examples. Probably everybody in this room at one point has wanted somebody really bad in their life. Said, if I have this person, then I'll be happy. Maybe it's a romantic relationship, let's just say that. If I have this person, then I'll be happy. If they love me, then I'll be happy, okay? So what you are doing is you are basically going for what you want, trying to direct life and not going with the flow of life. So being aware of what shows up for you in life is very important. So let's say that you're asking me, you're telling me that you really want this relationship with this person, and you're so much in love with this person, and without this person you'll be miserable and won't be happy. Usually what I'll say to the person is, what if I could find that person for you, but not only were they the person that you say you're in love with, but this new person has every single attribute you would ever want, is everything you could ever want, and wants you completely with no hesitation. Which person would you choose? And then they pause, they think about it, and I said, well, I think you would choose this other person. So I start opening up to the possibility that it's not the person they want, it's the feeling. It's the feeling that they want. They want to feel that feeling of love and passion, and they want that feeling back. So you have to be open to whatever form that comes into and move in direction of that. Not try and force it to be something you don't want. There's lots of songs that talk about this. If it don't fit, don't force it. So that's one of them. So in other words, you move towards what it feels passionate, what you feel passionate towards. When you're goal setting, I want you to be very much aware of what life is showing you. What life is showing you is, what are you passionate about? So let's say you're saying, I don't know what to do for a living. I don't know what career to choose. So don't go with what you want. Go with what is showing up for you. What we're passionate about and what we like doing comes easier to us. It's not laborious. It's not hard. You're interested in it. You want to learn more about it. You want to study more about it. So what that feeling of passion is very good for you. Go in that direction. Go in the direction in which life is calling you. Lots of self-help people say that. Go in the direction in which life is calling you. What that really means is go in the direction that feels good for you. If there's resistance or not. Is there resistance, or things just flowing for you? Does it come easily and natural to you? When we try to direct life too much, life starts not working for us. We have to go with the flow more of life. As you get older, you get more and more aware of this, because you're confronted with situations over and over again in which you really wanted something and it didn't happen. Could be a job, a person, doesn't matter. And then years later, because we have the wisdom of age, we reflect back and say, thank God I didn't get that. You see? And we start seeing there's a cadence, there's a rhythm to life. And if we went with that cadence and rhythm more, things would flow easier for us. Life would go easier for us. So we got to go with that rhythm. Once we get in touch with that rhythm, life flows easier for us. So we want to make sure that our goals are in alignment with the rhythm of life, the flow of life. Realizing that many things that we say we want or don't want, later on we find out, oh, that was a great thing, I didn't get this, or it's a great thing, I didn't get that. And so that's important to know, because what you start to see as you get older, certainly, and I've heard people who are older than me, like Louise Hay's age, in their 80s, really get in a knowingness of this. They just kind of just flow with it. You know, and it's a very calming easier, much easier way to live. It's more based in Eastern philosophy of Buddhism, which we talked about before Christmas. But it's a way easier way to go with life, is just move with it rather than trying to push against it. So this is kind of in keeping with that. Flow with it. And everything is individualized. So what might be passionate or I might like doing, you might not. That's okay. That's why I can't really tell you what to do as far as your goals, but I can certainly help direct you by asking you simple questions, which you can ask yourself. What do I feel passionate about? What do I like doing? What would I do if I didn't have anything else? If I had all the money in the world and I didn't have to work, what would I do? Lots of people say, oh, I wouldn't do anything. I don't believe that. Most people want to do something. Maybe they'll volunteer doing what? What would you volunteer doing? Would you like to garden? Would you like to, what is it that you would like to do? If you could do anything you wanted to do, you start there with an open palette and you start realizing what you're really passionate about, what really brings you joy, what really brings you happiness. You want to move in that direction because then it doesn't seem so much like work, it's actually fun.